So now we will actually be recording this meeting so that all the participants, so there are 66 of you right now, you will be able to have access to the conversation after. And after this initial component for Science Direct, I'll have my colleague Yu Lang to basically share her presentation on how you can leverage on Mendeley. So before we move forward, some of you will be asking, what's the best possible method for us to actually access Science Direct? It's actually very straightforward. So first and foremost, you need to access the UMT PSNZ portal. So psnz.umt.edu.my. You need to go to the e-resources first, which is the second box from left in magenta. Select this, and then you need to click on the easy proxy. So you can see this over here. The next section that you need to do will be to key in MyNemo or the UMT email ID and the password. And over here, you can proceed to select on Science Direct or Scopus. So UMT has access to a very broad range of content from Elsevier, specifically Science Direct and Scopus. With regards to Mendeley, you can just simply download the reference manager on mendeley.com. So if any of you have any questions through this whole conversation itself, please feel free to actually write the questions that you have during the chat. I'll be referring to it every now and then I'll address any questions that you may have. So what's behind Science Direct? First and foremost, people will be asking, well, we know what Elsevier is, but what exactly is the content behind Science Direct? So it's very straightforward. Essentially, Elsevier is a global information analytics company specializing in science and health. What we do is to help institutions, professionals to progress science, advance healthcare, and to improve their research performance. And we do this by combining content with technology, which is in turn supported by operational efficiency to turn information into actionable knowledge. And why we do it is because we want to help everyone to solve their challenges for the benefit of humanity. So we do this via three formats, right? So by combining content with technology, we are first and foremost the world's largest journal publishing company. So we have very famous journal titles such as Cell, Gray's Anatomy, Lancet, Tetrahedron, right? So we allow you to actually read the content first. The next one which we do is that we provide you with the platform to access the whole range of content that we do have. So this is how you're actually able to search for content through Science Direct and through Scopus. And you're actually able to do your research by leveraging on reference manager tools such as Mendeley. So for students in general who are doing research, we did an analysis and we realized that there are 4 major activities which takes approximately about 2 hours per week for researchers to do. And you spend approximately about 11.4 hours every single week. You spend about 2.2 hours keeping up to date with your research field. You spend approximately about 2.1 hours to search for online literature, 2.5 hours to read on research and review articles, and about 1.8 hours to obtain in-depth knowledge on a subject. So if you think about all this, it's actually a lot of time which you're leveraging on to find information to read. So it's actually very important because now you actually want to be efficient, right? This is very, very crucial. And how Elsevier and Science Direct helps you to do this is because we want to help you focus on improving your research effectiveness by combining innovative technologies to involve the information discovery needs that you're looking at. So we help you to actually uncover more novel science so that you're actually able to use your time more efficiently, so that you're actually able to do the most efficient and effective research possible. Sorry, give me 1 second. I need to mute the audio. So once again, for those who have just recently joined, please actually mute yourselves when you participate. Thank you. So through these formats, Science Direct allows you to discover the relevant information which you're looking at, to give you the access to the detail which you're trying to obtain. We want to make the process quick and easy and to keep you informed on the latest and developments and news. So as a result, Science Direct has approximately over 16 million publications and journal articles from over 3,800 journal titles and from more than 37,000 books from Elsevier. 65 of our journals are ranked #1 in their respective subject categories out of 236, and this accounts for about 27% out of all subjects. Globally, of the top 5% most cited articles, about 30% comes from Elsevier. So and it's a very interesting thing. Most of the time, people will be asking me, where is it that you get your content from? How is it that a publishing company supports our research workflow? And this is actually a very good question. So first and foremost, Elsevier has over 8,000 people, right? A very large number of people are what we have to manage the entire journal submission process. So we need to solicit and to manage the journal submissions. So over 2 million article submissions are actually submitted to Elsevier every single year, right? And this is actually a very substantial number of submissions. And most of the time, people therefore be asking, if you submit about 2 million articles, then how many articles are actually being published, right? So the number to that actually is approximately about 480,000 articles published every single year. So when people come and joke with us and they say that, you guys reject articles all the time, I would say, it's not exactly true because maybe about 75% of the time, right? It's a bit unfortunate that this is the case, but this is also part of the rigor that we actually adopt in terms of publishing only quality journal articles. And how we actually do this is by collaborating with our employees in publishing. This is whom we call the publishers. And how actually this is the case is that we have about 500 publishers, which organizes editorial boards. They launch new subscription and open access journals, so about 30 journals every single year. We run approximately about 2,800 active journals. We work with 23,000 editors, and as a result, globally, we are able to coordinate up to 440,000 reviewers to promote over 600,000 authors. We have approximately 7 million author-publisher communications every single year, and we work with over 4,600 editors who are the top tier in their subject field. And as a result, we are able to produce up to almost 500,000 articles every single year. The content is tagged for discoverability. The articles are content enriched with interactive graphs and 3D models, and we make sure that there are rigorous quality control process in place. And this actually enables us to reach out to over 16 million monthly users from over 4,500 institutions from over 180 countries. And this is why, and this is how we are actually able to manage a content of up to 16 million digital articles. So something which I wanted to share with you is this is basically the total number of articles published on Elsevier from 2006 to 2019. We can see that thanks to everyone's contributions, we have approximately about 258,000 articles in 2006. In 2019, we have about 497,000. And these are some of the top tier journal articles in the world, right? We're ranked #1 in 66 subjects out of 235 subjects, and we're ranked #10 in 681 categories out of 2,352. So this is a moment that you'll be probably waiting for because you don't really want to hear me talk about the content all the time. So let me walk you through on actually the platform, right? We talk about how Elsevier has been incorporating innovative technologies to evolve the information discovery and management process. We want to make sure that researchers and users are able to uncover new research to identify patterns and connections between content. So what we're doing is that we are enhancing our own internal data analytics and machine learning capabilities. So I'll explain this to you in more details later. We also are now able to deliver search results that are more relevant and that are deliverable faster than before. So we are expanding on our browse and search functionalities. We want to provide a best-in-class user experience, which is personal, secure, and fast. So as a result, we are able to deliver better performance more accurate results, and to make sure that it's actually easier for you to use from the comforts of your own home, right, via easy proxy or even through your mobile devices. The content that you can find in Elsevier on Science Direct ranges from a whole range, from journals, such as journal articles, to review articles, to books, such as serials, ebooks, textbooks, and major reference works. And this is how the platform looks like, right? We want to make sure that you're able to discover relevant information. We want to make sure that you're kept up to date on the latest development and news. We want to make sure that you have access to the details that you're looking for. And we want to make sure the entire process is quick and easy. And this is how it really looks like, right? On Science Direct, you're able to actually select it. First and foremost, what we really want you to do is to create an account with Elsevier. So we want you to create the account simply because this actually allows you to have a greater functionality into a whole range of tools that I'll be sharing with you, right? We have a whole range of product innovations that we'll be sharing with you as well, so that you're actually able to actually get the information that you're looking for, right? We have what we call the personalized recommender. We have at the same time the reading history. So this is something which we are doing on our side to make sure that you are actually able to have content in a better way. So first and foremost, we encourage you to create your own user account. So first and foremost, type in your name, your last name, your email, and your password, right? Create this, and then you can sign in via your institution. And then you can also have the option to have a remote access, right? So you can apply for remote access to basically have to use your content remotely when you're on the move. So this is actually a very straightforward process, right? Simply key in your email address, and then the confirmation email will be sent to your account ID. And then you're now actually able to use your content anywhere on the road or off campus as well. So the next thing which I wanted to share with you is actually the Science Direct platform. So now, most of the time when you're searching for content, you can just simply search for keywords via the author name, via the journal and book title, and the volume, issue, and pages. Sometimes you don't really want to use the last three, but we give you as much details as possible so that you can actually have controls as much as the best possible control you can. And how you can do the search, right? And this is the part which we really want to share with you so that you can do your search much more thoroughly. Most of you people probably would be able to do this, but I thought it'd be interesting to share. So this is what we call the search functionality, right? And when you're trying to structure your search, you need to be able to choose your search terms very specifically. So we highly encourage you to use specific search terms that are closely related to your research topic. You should include alternate words and abbreviations while avoiding words that are way too general. And this is a part where I'll encourage you to use Boolean operators, and or not. These are the three key operators that I want to share with you today. So the AND operator allows you to find documents which contains all of the terminology. You should use this when the terms must appear and they may be far apart from each other. So for instance, if you're looking for, say, a geographic information system, you put the N and then you can include urban sustainability. One key thing which I want to share with you here, when you're looking at, say, geographic information systems, note that I put them in open inverted commas because that is actually a very specific search phrase itself. So that's something which you may be wanted to do. The next one which I'll look to you is actually the OR operator. The OR operator allows you to find documents which contains any of the terminology. So you use the N to actually limit and to be much more specific with your search range. The OR allows you to expand your search range, right? So you're using it when you want to look at one of the terms that must appear, such as synonyms, alternate spellings, or abbreviations. If you're looking for, say, a micro mouse or a pico mouse, for instance. If you're looking for a S.W. Hawking or a Stephen W. Hawking or a Stephen Hawking, you may want to expand the permutations as well. The NOT operator is more of an exclusion device. So you exclude documents which contains the specific term from the search. So you want to use this when you probably have way too many terminologies and you want to be very specific with what you're looking at. So you use the NOT to exclude specific terms, and this connector must be used at the end of a search. For instance, you can look at particle collisions and not theoretical. So users can combine terms using Boolean operators and, or, and not. Users can group terms using parentheses. And of course, we allow you to do what we call multi-level nested clauses. So in this case, you're looking for black hole, specific word, or radiation, and gravity. So when we talk about precedence rules, let me give you a couple of examples. So the not takes precedence over and, which takes precedence over not, right? So the not, which is the exclusion device, comes first in terms of priority. And then you include and lastly, you include over or. So when you look at, say, Tesla and self-driving cars or self-driving vehicles, right, this gives you about 309 results, but you can't do self-driving cars or self-driving vehicles and then Tesla, right? In this case, the parentheses and then the precedence order completely does not work. So you can look for also variations of a word. So if you want to look for a specific phrase, you can include the phrase in open inverted commas, such as Southeast Asia. You can use the singular form of a word, which finds the singular, plural, and the possessive form of most words. You can also type in special characters within the search itself. So what does this mean? So for instance, right, we're looking at, say, subscript and superscript. So subscripts will include like a small 2. We're not going to make you type out a small 2 for H2O. Just H2O will be perfectly fine. If you're looking for, say, an author name, if you're looking for, say, a Professor Furst, you don't need to type in the umlauts. You don't need to type in the special characters. Just simply type in FURST, and we'll make the search easy for you as well. So non-alphanumeric characters are also included, such as hyphens, bullets, arrows, plus signs, and minus signs. They're all completely ignored unless they are specifically enclosed in brackets. Also, we will include for you wildcard characters. So you can use wildcard characters to search for variations of a word. So the asterisk replaces multiple characters anywhere in the word. It can be used to replace 0 and more characters. For instance, we're looking, say, optim asterisk, and this like, say, optimistic, optimizing, for instance. You can also include terms by using the minus hyphen operator. So you can find articles related to depression, but not economic depression. So you can search for depression dash economics, and then this is an exclusion device. If you want to find authors authored by Professor Heisenberg, but not by Professor Sommerfeld, you can enter the following in the author search box, Heisenberg dash Sommerfeld, right? So these are all great controls for you to actually really improve the way you search for information. So right now, I'm going to give you guys maybe about I'll give you guys approximately about 6 minutes. So I want you to take a look at these 3 exercises. Intellectual property in Malaysia, how would you search for it? How would you search for social culturalism in financially inclusive institutions and how you can search for it? Last but not least, how you can search for a novel coronavirus in Wuhan 2019 and cough. So I think these 3 examples are fairly pertinent for how you want to do it in Malaysia. So just feel free to take a look at these examples and then run through it yourself, right? I'll give you approximately about like 7 minutes. Well, I'll give you 8 minutes because that took some time. So let's reconvene over here by 2:30 and you can share with me how you actually run your results. And I'll share with you on my side how is it that you can do your searches as well. So I'll see you back here at 2:30. In the meantime, I have a whole range of questions. Okay, so while you guys are doing the search, I shall address your questions here. So a couple of concerns is where can we get this video recording after this? So right now, I'm actually recording this onto the cloud, onto a link, which I'll share with your librarian, and they'll disseminate this to all of you guys as well. So I understand that there's approximately about 134 of you who have signed up for this presentation itself. First and foremost, maybe you can share with the librarian on the chat here. How is it that you are actually registered, or if there's a form for you to register on so that we can be in touch with you. So hopefully if everyone on the call, if you guys can either, well, actually, hopefully the library can create a form where you guys can log in and register with your name and your emails. The librarians can get back to you with a copy of the recording as well as the PDF that I'll be sharing in a bit. So hopefully that addresses one big question on how you can get the recorded video. The next question that we have is that someone has signed up for an account with an institutional email as a personal account. Let me check with you, Sifia Hassan. Are you referring this to Mendeley itself? So with regards to institutional edition, we only provide this for Mendeley. So I believe actually MIE, you probably do not have access to MIE as of the moment, if I'm not mistaken. So you probably would just be able to use Mendeley itself within the institution. So if you actually sign on, what essentially happens is that if the school has access to Mendeley Institutional Edition, when you sign onto it, you would have access to the institutional account based on your IP address. Another question that I have from Muhammad Sufi is, are we looking for a Corona or COVID-19 Malaysia? Well, this is a very good question because feel free to leverage this into the way you do your search as well. So you can use the and, or, and not options. No worries. All right, that took a bit of time. So I'll give you 5 more minutes to actually do the exercise and I'll be in touch with you. So there is a question here on how you can create the account for Science Direct and if you have any links. As a matter of fact, you really do. So let me point it out to you in a bit after this exercise. So actually, I would say if you first and foremost go to Science Direct, you can see in the top right corner, there is a sign in or register. So feel free to actually click on that specific area, and then you can actually be able to navigate on a registration page. So Puan Naraini, let me know if you're actually able to do this as well. Hi, Pranaraini. Are you actually able to create your account on Science Direct now? So there's another question here on whether your account is an institutional account. So if you actually log in to Science Direct via the Easy Proxy, you will have access to what the institutional holdings that UMT does have. So please feel free to log in. So what I encourage everyone strongly to do is to go through the page that I showed initially at the start of this presentation, to go through the specific easy proxy access methods, and then you will have access to the UMT institutional access to Science Direct. So UMT has subscribed a very substantial amount of content with Elsevier. So I would suggest please actually use the easy proxy, use the e-resource page on UMT, go to the easy proxy, log in with your account name, and then select on Science Direct and Scopus. That's the best possible way for you to access the institutional version. All right, it's 2:30 right now, and I'm going to run through the exercises as well. So for first and foremost, if you're looking for, say, an intellectual property in Malaysia, first and foremost, if you just type intellectual property, you will have over 140,000 document results. But when you put them in open inverted commas, this limits the documents that you have to approximately about 40,000 documents. So you can see that's much more specific. We have next question here. The next one we have is approximately about 2,100 documents when you're looking for intellectual property. You use the and modifier and you include the search phrase Malaysia. So you're looking for intellectual property in Malaysia. This is how you can actually refine the search mechanism. Another example that you have here will be social culturalism in financially inclusive institutions. So what you can do here is to look specifically for financial inclusion, use the and Boolean modifier and to include social culturalism, and this gives you up to 24 document results. So we have here actually a very good question here, right? So how do we search for novel coronavirus in Wuhan? Because this is a real question that most people would have, right, with regards to COVID. So when you look for, first and foremost, the relevant information that you're looking at is that you should search for COVID-19 or coronavirus or corona space virus or 2019 nCoV or SARS nCoV or MERS-CoV or severe acute respiratory syndrome or Middle East respiratory syndrome, right? These are some of the permutations of the search results that you will have and that you can search on when you're on Science Direct itself. The next thing I would say is for you to look for the most relevant information on nCoV for you to refine it by 2020. In this very specific case, now you're actually able to see the most latest and updated news published on Elsevier with regards to COVID itself. So one thing that someone has said is that I got 2158 results when you're looking for intellectual property and Malaysia. I would say that is not surprising because actually on Science Direct, we are constantly updated on a daily basis. So this is also possible why that, and this deck itself was prepared about some time back. So I won't be surprised if there are actually more articles that were presented that were actually published over the course of a week. So Science Direct is actually updated on a daily basis. So just something that you should know. If you're looking at, say, the document results as well over here, one thing you notice is that the numbers may not exactly match. That's because the articles are constantly being published and updated all the time. So let's talk about impactful research. So first and foremost, when you're looking at, say, for instance, sustainable development, when you're searching for it, you see a couple of things here because you notice that first and foremost, you can see the search results, right, which is quite substantial. The next thing I will encourage you to do is to do the refine, right? So the refine option actually here is actually very powerful. It allows you to see what are the latest, most updated and published articles. So you can see in terms of sustainable development, this was a very, very, very hot topic in 2019 with up to 15,000 articles published. As of 2020, we have approximately about 5,000 articles. You can break them down into a whole range of article types, such as review articles, research articles, encyclopedia, or book chapters. If there's a journal that you tend to be more focused on, because as researchers, we tend to gravitate towards a specific journal title, probably because it's managed by editors or because of a specific publisher. You notice that this can be sorted by and to refine by publication titles itself. You can also choose to browse this by open access or by open archive. So notice one thing on the main search page here is that when you're looking for, say, sustainable development, you see that the phrase itself is highlighted in yellow. This is to highlight the keywords and the index words which you're looking for. You can now sort this accordingly based on relevance, based on the search key phrases that you're looking. You can also choose to sort it based on the date that which you're looking at. And then when you sort it accordingly, sometimes you don't really want to look at all the articles. So what you can actually do over here is to click on the abstract component. And this gives you a drop-down menu to give you a brief description on what this search article of what this research article is about. You can see over here, there's a couple of other options that you can do. One, you can download, you can export this as well. And this also gives you the option to download multiple PDFs at once. So you can download probably in bulk 25 articles from a search result, this to make sure that this will give you the option to be more flexible with the way you download. But one thing which I highly encourage you is please do not download in bulk all the articles that you're reading at once, because this really actually means that you're not really looking or selecting the articles that you're looking at. And in a way, it will also trigger a crawling attack on your system if you choose to download too many articles at once. So we actually have within Science Direct itself quite a number of enhancements that we are talking about. So what you can do is to look at the author data integration, where you're actually able to evaluate the article, evaluate others, you can stay up to date, and you can connect with the right peers that you're looking at. So I'll go through this in a bit more detail later. We also have what we call reference linking. So you're able to evaluate and read the article, to evaluate other articles and stay up to date on the research which you're doing. There is, of course, a figure and media viewer where you can evaluate and read the article that you're looking at. We have what we call article recommendations so that you can stay up to date. And we also give you a tracking methodology to see which articles you're citing. So this is what we call the intuitive online article format or the PDF reader. So you can see first and foremost, we have an outline, an abstract, abbreviations, keywords, introduction, methodology, methods, so that you're actually able to actually click on this so that it gives you quick, easy navigation, right? This is what we call the navigator bar. Over here, as I mentioned earlier, we have recommended articles. So this gives you new and valuable types of content that you may not be looking at as of the moment, but we will recommend these articles based on the keywords that you actually have been searching for. When you're looking at the article, we track through machine language learning what the articles that you're reading, and we try to give you an estimate on what we think other type of articles that you may be interested in. So other recommended articles, you can find it over here based on the keywords that you're looking at. We have over here another citing articles that you can do, so that basically you can see that this article that you're reading, what are the other research articles that are citing this article you're reading, right? So this is actually a very powerful tool. It's very, very convenient as well. It gives you great flexibility in terms of expanding what you're reading. Last but not least, we also allow you to select on this so you can see who the author of this research article is, right? You can see that this is the Professor James Roger from Decision Sciences from the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, right? So these are all articles and ways and methodologies that you can actually approach to find out who is writing this specific area of research, if this is someone that you may want to collaborate with, so that this allows you to grow your network when you're collaborating with other researchers and writers. Also, last but not least, is that we also have included what we call article level metrics. So article level metrics gives you an insight to the performance of this research article itself. How many times it has been captured, how many times it has been exported, what are the social media trends that it's been gravitating and generating, as well as other citations that this article may have generated. We also want to make sure that you're actually able to access images and graphs and figures in the best possible way. So you can take a look at, say, articles here. You can download the image via PowerPoint format, and then you can also take a look and to download this in bulk as well for yourself. So Science Direct is also integrated with Mendeley, which is why we're doing a Science Direct and Mendeley session together. So Mendeley itself is a reference manager, right? It's a quick, easy way for you to store references to collaborate with others so that you can manage, organize, and to connect around books and journals with Mendeley, which is embedded seamlessly in Science Direct. So this is also, not only is Mendeley a reference manager, allowing to manage, read, share, annotate, and cite your research papers, it's also a very strong academic and social network tool with 3 million users. So you can actually create a crowdsourced database. So we'll cover Mendeley in just a bit after this session. So another thing that we really encourage you to do to create your own account is so that you are able to do and conduct your search alerts. So you can select from the search bar, you can select advanced search, you can use the advanced search form, key in the terms, the journal names, the years, the authors in the corresponding field, right? And then you can search it, and then you can set a search alert. You can enter the name of the search alert, select the frequency on which you want the search to run on a daily, weekly, fortnightly, monthly basis, and then you can save it. So remember just now when I was asking you to create your account, and some of you were asking me how you could do it. One of the key reasons we encourage you to do it is because first and foremost, one, you have what we call a recommendation tool, right? So it allows you to keep up to date with publications. So first and foremost, you can select over here, you can select which journals you want to be kept updated on, what books you want to be kept updated on as well. We also have what we call a reading history, right? So this is really, really quite cool because right now you're able to see your recent activity on Science Direct. So for instance, if I'm looking for this article in February in 2020, I can see these are some of the research articles that I'm looking and reading at previously. So it gives me a whole historical range of articles that I'm looking at so that I can find out what I was previously reading. So I was also talking about the personalized recommender, and why it's actually so powerful is because once you have registered with Science Direct, we have what we call a powerful adaptive algorithm that uses the sign-in activity on Science Direct to understand your research interests. Then we'll go through our database of over 3,800 journals, over 37,000 book titles to find the relevant content. And the more frequently someone signs in, the better it gets to know you, to know what is it that you're reading, and then we'll push for a recommendation to you. So another thing that you can also do is to keep up to date on publications under alerts. So you can manage your email recommendations, and they'll send you recommendations based on your Science Direct activity. And this allows you to actually stay up to date on information. So you don't have to log in all the time. The personalized recommender is a very, very powerful tool that really helps to make your life easier that way. So in this case, I was interested in sustainable environment, right? So I get a review on regional groundwater flow modeling. I was interested in big data. So I have the anatomy of a large scale hypertextual web search engine, for instance. So people and comments and feedback on the personalized recommenders are quite positive. We have graduate students who like it because it provides them with articles that they have not previously found so that they have an idea on how to provide application areas for the techniques that they're using. Some faculty members like it because it's relevant to their lectures last week so that they're able to start class by reviewing and adding an additional perspective based on the content which they're reading. So something which I also want to share is that on Science Direct, you can search for information on physical sciences and engineering, life sciences, health sciences, and social sciences. You can select this based on the journals that you're looking at. So sometimes you don't really want to keep searching for keywords. Maybe there's actually a journal that you want to follow all the time. You can just browse through the journals itself here. We've made it possible for you to browse through your favorite journals easier by looking at previous volume, by showing what are the articles in press. We can show you more information about the journal and how you can follow the journal itself. I was mentioning about how we can download multiple PDFs. It's actually very straightforward, right? If you look for the information here, you can select this and then you can download the articles in bulk. You may also even want to export this information onto RefWorks, onto RIS, RIS, to BibTeX, even to Mendeley. So we make sure that all this functionality makes your life a lot easier. So something which we have rolled out and it's very new, it's what we call topic pages. So the topic pages is actually a fairly new service. So one, if you're looking at, say, reading through a research article, and then you see that there's a word called encephalitis, you don't really know what encephalitis means. So if you click on this, it will bring you to what we call a topic page, which gives you a clear definition of what encephalitis means. We show you what are the related terms to the topic pages. You can find out more on the topic by looking at 10 longer definitions, as well as other related and relevant learning. So for instance, if I'm looking at, say, cell membrane, you're able to find out that the cell membrane is a selectively permeable biological membrane found inside the cell wall surrounding the cytoplasm. So this gives you a definition to understand the subject so that you're actually able to understand and to interpret the scientific literature better. You can find out more through interdisciplinary links. So this is ideal for those who may want to explore further and gives you a very strong, thorough overview of the topic at hand that we're talking about. We also have what we call a topic page index, so you're able to browse through this alphabetically speaking as well. So how the topic page works is because we have applied cutting-edge technologies to content within the research workflow. A very analogy that I would draw is that topic pages itself, they are quite similar in their own way to what we call Wikipedia pages, except that we all know when it comes to Wikipedia, they are not peer-reviewed. So topic pages gives you a very strong guide for you to understand the technical terms that you may be looking at when you're browsing through a journal itself. So this allows you, and this actually really allows you to link narrow specialized knowledge of journal content, which can be difficult to understand for researchers new to the specialized field, so that you have a quick overview of the journal contents topic with a more general book content. So you can see now there are data science technologies that we are leveraging on so that you can do data mining, you can build taxonomy, and we do it via algorithmic information extraction to get a relevancy ranking and quality confirmation. So we are also evolving our open access journal itself so that we have more open access journals so that you're actually able to browse through content as well in a better possible way. For librarians, we also provide libraries with the support of Science Direct APIs so that you're actually able to retrieve and integrate full text content from publications into your own website or institutional repository. So towards this side, I wanted to share more additional help and support on Science Direct through the Science Direct Support Center. So you'll be able to find out what the latest updates are on Science Direct is, as well as other technical issues that you may be facing. So the Science Direct Support Center is a very useful offline platform that you may want to leverage on. We also have what we call a Researcher Academy. And I think the Researcher Academy right now in this day of online learning is actually really, really helpful. So this is essentially, think of this as a Coursera for researchers and for undergraduates and postgraduates. It takes you through the different stages of and phases of the research cycle, from the beginnings of research preparation to the publishing process and all the way to the demonstration of impact. So now you can prepare PhDs and postdoctorates for their careers, either outside or inside or outside of academia. We allow researchers to obtain funding for their research. We can facilitate more researchers' papers being accepted into top journals, and this is a completely free service. So feel free to access researcheracademy.elsevier.com. You find out some really interesting topics, such as how you can turn your thesis into an article, how metrics can boost funding opportunities, how you can write a manuscript in LaTeX, how you can share data, and one of my favorites is 10 tips on how you can write a truly terrible journal article, So like maybe these are things that you do not want to do in the future. Another one that we do is actually what we call the Elsevier Journal Finder. So the Journal Finder itself is actually a very, very powerful tool. So this is a free resource that allows you to find journals that are best suited for your publishing your scientific journal. So it uses a smart search technology and field of research vocabulary to match your article to Elsevier journals. So you see that over here is actually very straightforward. You can type in your paper title, type in your paper abstract, key in the keywords that you're looking for within your article itself, select for the field of research, and we'll come up with a whole range of options of journals based on ranking, which we think suits your needs. So you can see over here, this is sorted accordingly by the best match. So there are 47 journals that may match the paper which you're looking at. We can see the site score value, which is the quality of the journal. You can see the impact factor. You can see the acceptance rate of the journal. You can see the time to the first decision and the full time to publication of the entire journal itself. So this is actually a very powerful tool. Feel free to use it. So thank you so much for your time here. At this point in time, I think that we are running a bit short of time. So what I'll do is I'll pass the controls over to my colleague Yu Lang, who will be showing you a quick session on how you can conduct Mendeley, right? An introduction to Mendeley that some of you have been asking about for some time now. So Yu Lang, I'll stop sharing and I'll pass you the controls for Mendeley.
Okay, thank you, Nicholas. Hi, I'm Yulan, the Elsevier Solution Trainer. This is my first time sharing the use of Mendeley online. So I will just cover some basic use of this Mendeley, especially for reference manager, and then how to collaborate the research via Mendeley. So what is Mendeley? Mendeley is a free reference manager and is available across a different number of platforms across desktop, web, and mobile. And it is available on most majority of the major browser. And Mendeley acts as a repository for your reference information and the PDFs from the searches that you have conducted on internet or on any other online databases that you have searched. And all the reference information, the PDF will be stored in cloud, and so that you can access all the PDF, all your references. You can access it anytime, anywhere. So this is a Mendeley homepage, mendeley.com. So beside it works, it acts as a reference manager. So you also can collaborate, okay, on Mendeley is a research network, and also is a platform to search for careers and fundings. Besides, you store your references or PDFs on the cloud in Mendeley. You also can store your experiment data on the cloud via the data set. To start using the Mendeley, you need to have an account. Okay, so if you have registered a personal account with any Elsevier product or online databases before, like you have registered a personal account on Science Direct or Scopus, you can sign in to your Mendeley using the same account. Else, you just need to click at create account or click create a free account to generate an account. So you just need to fill in the email address. If you haven't used the same email address to register with other Elsevier product like Science Direct or Scopus, then it will prompt you to complete the registrations by provide the given name, family name, and then your own password. If you already have registered a personal Elsevier account, then you can just straight away sign in through I already have an account. Then you just complete the registrations by select the field of study and academic status. Then this is a Mendeley homepage, the feed, the Mendeley homepage that you can, after you sign in to your Mendeley account, this is the first page that you get to see. Okay. And then on top of the most right hand side, okay, you can click next to your account. You can find there is a download. And then if you want to check whether you are using a free Mendeley or institutional Mendeley, you can check the status or the plan, which plan, free plan or institutional plan for your account, or for this account that you registered. You can check it under setting and privacy. Under setting and privacy, you can find there is a billing. So when you click at billing, then it will show you the plan that you are entitled to, whether it's a free plan or institutional plan. So the presentations on this Mendeley were based on Mendeley Web and Mendeley Desktop. So once we sign into Mendeley Web, we can download the desktop by select at the download, okay, on top of the most right hand side, click at download. Then you can find the instructions to download the Mendeley desktop for Windows or for Mac operating or for Linux operating. If you scroll down from this download page, you also manage to get instruction how to download for web importer and then the citation plugin. So now we can start to build our library, okay, to add all the references, informations or PDF to our own Mendeley library. So it's very simple. You just go to the left-hand side, there is an add button, okay. There are a few options to add the reference informations to the library. You can click at add import documents, then you can add any PDF that you have previously downloaded in any drive in your PC or laptop or any external disk. Another option is you can import the reference all the references from other reference manager that you have. So this is features on Mendeley Web, and you can find the same features on Mendeley Desktop. Just click at the file. Mendeley Desktop will have the most complete features or experience compared to the Mendeley Web. Then another way to add the references to Mendeley library is through web importer. This is especially when you are doing some literature search online. Okay, so you can either install this Mendeley web importer through this link, or you go to previously the slide, the download, where you download the desktop manager. You can scroll down a bit, you can find the instructions to download the Mendeley web importer. So this is how, when you click at the download web importer, you will get this page. Then you just add the importer to the browser that you are using. Then this web importer is actually an extension for the browser. Then it will appear like this. Okay, it will appear like this on your browser. So how to use the web importer to save the references to your library, to your Mendeley library is, let's say if you're doing some searches on the internet, and these are the result page where you find some relevant documents that you wish to save to the library. So on this page, you just click at the extension, this Mendeley web importer extension. Then this box will prompt up, okay, web importer. This feature will pop up. So you just select the relevant documents that you want to add or save to your Mendeley library. So these web importer extensions support most of the major online databases like PLOS, PubMed, and other major online databases that your library have subscribed. So it's very easy and convenient while you perform any literature search online, while at the same time save all the relevant or related searches that you found or documents that you found straight to Mendeley library through the web importer. So this slide is about how to add the documents from Science Direct. Okay, so just now we go through the Science Direct training. So this is a Science Direct result page. So if you like to add these particular documents to your Mendeley, you just click at the article titles or the document titles. Then when these particular documents have been opened up in HTML format, on top, there is an export. So you just click at the export, then you select Save to Mendeley. So when you click Save to Mendeley, then these features on the right-hand side will pop up. Then you just click Save. So these articles will automatically save to your library. So after we have all the reference information or all the literatures saved to our library in Mendeley, okay, you can view all your documents. Either you want to view all the documents by click all documents, or you can just select to view the recently added, okay, item added in the last 2 weeks, okay, or recently read or favorites, okay. And then on the right-hand side where your document display, you can mark the star if you like to add that particular documents to be found under the favorite folders. Okay. Then there is a dot over here. So this is marked whether these entries or these documents has been read or unread. So if it is green color means that this documents is unread. Then if documents that you added to the library attached with a PDF, then you can click at this PDF icon, okay, to open up the PDF in the integrated PDF reader that we have built in both the desktop and also the Mendeley web. And this is how it looks like. Okay, you can view your documents based on all the documents or recently read, recently added. And then these are the stars, red dot, and PDF on Mendeley web. Then after that, you can start to organize your folders so that you can easily locate your documents in your library. Okay, sometimes you get you save too many documents. So if the documents haven't been added to any particular folder, it will be displayed under unsorted. Then if you want to organize, you just click create folder. Then after that, you just enter a name. Then a new folder with that particular name will be created and listed over here. Then if you want to add the articles to a particular folder, you just drag the documents and then drag it in the respective folder. So this is another way to easily locate all the documents that you have saved to your Mendeley library is using the search. Okay, so in Mendeley desktop, the search tool is on top of the right-hand side. Okay, so you can enter the titles of the articles, or you can search the documents organized within a particular folder. And another way is you can use the tab. Okay, so if you select the documents in your library, you can find the document details will be displayed on the right hand side. And then there is a tab features. Okay, so you can tag your documents, and then you can find all the tab items under this filter by my text on the left hand side. So this is another option to help you easily locate the articles or documents that you want. And then you can open the PDF if the documents that you added or references that you added to the Mendeley library attached with the PDF. You just click the PDF icon. So you will open up in the integrated PDF reader. And there is this highlighting and annotating features on both the desktop and web. Okay, so this is a highlighter, and this is the note, and you can select the color from here. So this will help you to organize your thought while you read. This is how it looks like on Mendeley desktop, and then this is where you can find the notes and highlighter on the Mendeley web when you open the PDF. And this is a very useful features in Mendeley. And this feature is only available in the Mendeley desktop. You can't find it in Mendeley web. Okay, so these features is help you to check for duplicates. Sometimes maybe you have saved the same document twice or thrice in your library. So you can go to Mendeley desktop, tools, click that check with duplicates. Then you will find any documents which have duplicates, and then you can choose to merge. And now we'll go to look at how to use the Mendeley to help us while we're writing in Microsoft Word when we want to cite or when we want to generate the bibliography list. Okay, so to use Mendeley in Microsoft Word, first you need to have this citation plugin installed. So the only way to add this is through Mendeley desktop. Okay, Mendeley web don't have this feature. Okay, Mendeley desktop under the tools, you just click at install Microsoft Word plugin. Then you open up your Microsoft Word and you just double check. Under your Microsoft Word, check under References tab. Okay, check under References tab, the Mendeley plugin, Mendeley citation plugin already installed. Okay, so while you type in Microsoft Word, when you want to insert a citation, you just click at Insert Citation. Then these features will pop up. So you just key in over here the title of the references or the title of the articles that you're going to cite. So maybe you just type in the keywords of the titles, then you select the documents that you have saved in your library. You just select that particular documents that you have you are going to cite. After you select, you click OK, and then the citation will appear like this. So you can click at this citation style to select or to change the bibliography style that you like, or to change the citation style. So it's look like this. Okay, you can select the citation style or bibliography style over here. So you can find the most common bibliography style. You can straight away find it here. If you want more style, you just click at more styles. Then it will brings you to the Mendeley desktop for more styles. And when you want to insert the bibliography, okay, you just click insert bibliography, and all the references will be generated according to the bibliography style that you have selected. Okay, all this bibliography right will based on how many references that you have cited in the same file, in this same Microsoft Word file. Next, we're going to look at how to collaborate on Mendeley. Okay, so there are more than 3 million Mendeley users. So if you like to join or create a groups, you can find in Mendeley desktop below the documents and the folders for all your references in your library. You can find there is a group features. So if you want to create a group, you just click create group. Then you can set your group as public, private. And if you have followed any group or joined any group, it will be listed over here. And for private groups, you can share the full text. That means the PDF with your members within your own private group. And you can share the PDF with the highlights and annotations. Okay, each member is assigned a different color for highlighting. So you can exchange your thoughts. And if you want to search whether there is any relevant group that you can join in Mendeley, then you can go to the Mendeley web. Okay, Mendeley web, you go to this search on the right-hand side, on top of the right-hand side search, you search for groups. Then you enter your research field or your research area or topics that you are interested in and search. So you can find some relevant groups which have been created by other Mendeley users. So you can go to look into those groups and then join the group. And last is when you sign into Mendeley, in Mendeley web, okay, on top of the right-hand side is your personal image, right? So you just click at your image. So you just fill in all the personal details like the field of your interest, your publications, if you have any publications, if you have published any papers before, okay? And you can use this personal profile to share your research and interest with other Mendeley users. So you can find there is an impact and publications, okay? And then it will show you your H index and then the citation for all your publications on the overview page. And if you go to the impact page, okay, you can find all the citations that you have obtained based on your publications, okay, media mention, H index, citation, readers. And if you click at, and if you scroll down, you can find more others impact. If you click at publications, when you click any of these individual publications, you get to know their readership statistic, like how many citations obtained by this paper, how many readers have read these particular articles. If you scroll down, you can find the readers breakdown by seniority, breakdown by reader disciplines. And you can find there are more resources to help you on how to use this Mendeley. You can go to this link. You can find all the help guides. Okay. And another support is if you need any support or want to contact Mendeley, then you can refer to these two links. So that's my sharing on Mendeley. Let me check. If there is any questions.
So there are a couple of questions, Yulang.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
coming from Incheck Samin, between Mendeley Desktop and Mendeley Web, which one should you update documents more frequently? So this question I can take. So essentially, if you update your questions, your documents on desktop or web, all you need to do is synchronize both and they'll be updated at the same time. So I don't think you need to say that, well, it wouldn't be accurate to say that you need to update either one or to give either one more attention. It would just simply be that if you update on one, both these versions, the desktop and the web, they'll both be updated at the same time. So hopefully that addresses your question.
I want to add, Nicholas. Especially if you are using Mendeley, remember to click the synchronize icon on top on the Mendeley desktop. For Mendeley web, normally no problems to synchronize, but to use the desktop, normally you need to manually click at the synchronize.
The other question should be the registration should be done within the UMT IP range. So I would say yes, that is actually right. So we encourage you to actually do most of the registrations and the logins once you're back on campus. But I understand that there's MCO as of the moment, so you might have to wait just for a bit as of the time being.
But
so another
I would like to add if previously the participant already signed in to Mendeley while they are within the campus, so at the moment, even though they are at their own house, they still get the institutional plan, because that once you sign in Mendeley through the UMT IP address, it will last for 6 months.
So you need to refresh your IP access once every 6 months as well.
Yes, yes. If you
make
want
sure that
if you want to keep that particular institutional plan.
So okay, before we carry on further, because there's approximately about 130 participants and now there are about 108. Puan Sharifah has actually shared a Google document link. So those who are interested in the slides and for the recording of the session, I would encourage you to scroll up to kindly fill in the Google form. So you can see this under the Google documents that I would now share and paste again so that everyone can have access to this. Hi, Dr. Iswani. Okay. So if you've created for your Mendeley account using Gmail, you don't need to go back to the UMT email address. You just simply need to log on within the UMT IP range. So Yulian, do you want to take this question?
I don't think there is a merge account so far. What I encounter is if a user they have two different Mendeley accounts. I would suggest, because I didn't come across any solutions to merge. I'm not sure the Mendeley support, they have this kind of help to merge the accounts or not. But if the account can't be merged, if you want to get all the references in both the accounts, maybe you just, in the future, you just stick to one personal account. Okay, you just stick to one personal account, then you can transfer you can share whatever references which is not available in that account from another account, by maybe you create a private group and then you share all the references in the group.
So
because you
adding
can
on to
share within private group up to 100 gig.
So adding on to what Yulang said, something that you can also do will be to create a folder in which you store most of your documents on. So you can create one, like what Yulang said, a private working group, or you can create, say, the documents, and then you can sync it accordingly. I would suggest that you should try using more on your UMT account, because first and foremost, your UMT account is an institutional version. So you have approximately about 100 gigabytes of content of data on it. So please do feel free to do it that way and to leverage on the access that you have. So there's a question on adding an article from Mendeley Web and to synchronize it onto Mendeley Desktop without end title. And then if you search on the right-hand side, it says these details needs reviewing and it should appear for having an Arabic title. Can I just check for this specific article that you have added onto it, does it have a DOI? Is it a peer review article? Can you translate? No, I think unfortunately with regards to articles, what you're doing is that you're specifically importing that specific research article itself. It can't really translate for you. It's not a translation service. And also at the same time, if you want to also use this as a references, you should most of the time get a research article with a DOI, because if you're referencing it, you want to draw references to a peer-reviewed research article with very specific DOIs, so that that research article will be able to get the citations that you're attributing over to it as well. So hopefully that answers your question a little. Not at all. So we are actually overrunning this session by quite a fair bit of time. So to wrap it up, maybe we can take one last final question on whoever can type in the chat. And as I'm saying this, I really encourage you all to actually please fill in your particulars in this Google document form so that we'll be able to share the presentation and the recording over to you. So please fill in this form itself so that we can actually support your question. So I have one question from Babang Gida. So what's the best method for writing a methodology section when sending a paper to Elsevier? So I would actually suggest that when you're writing this specific article, please feel free to communicate with the editor of the specific journal that you're referring to, because there's no really generic way of answering this. Methodologies are usually very, very topic specific, and the best person that can really support you on this query would be to contact the editor specifically. So I would say it's probably not a good idea to write everything under one heading, but maybe you may want to do it under a subsection itself, right? So I think you probably answered the question quite accurately. So for students that, okay, Point Sharifah has asked, some students have asked during the Mendeley training if they're still eligible to get 100 gigabytes after they have graduated. The best way to answer this is that you would have access for about 6 more months after graduation. Because when we are logging into your IP, which is why you actually have to log in your IP every 6 months to refresh your account. So you actually have content for up to 6 months after you've graduated. So there's a question on if there's a possibility to set the setting for Microsoft Word plugin when there are 2 or more authors for et al. That can appear straight away. I'm not I don't really get this question. Let me see if what you're trying to say is that if the citation style that you're asking for allows you to set more than 2 authors. If it's more than 2 authors, then the et al. Will come in. I would say that this really boils down to the citation style which you're using. If that's the question, if I think that's a question which you're asking. Yeah, so it really boils down to the citation style itself. So the Microsoft Word plugin actually emulates the specific citation style of the one that you're actually leveraging on. So if you're using, say, APA or IEEE or Harvard, the citation style will vary specifically as well. Okay, so it's about 3:25. I think we've overrun by quite a fair bit, so some people have logged on. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for this session today, and do feel free to let me know if there's any questions that you may have. So thank you so much for your time today. And please, once again, do log on to the Google form and to complete it. Thank you so much. I'll stop the recording for now, but I'll leave the chat on running for just a little bit so that you can fill in your details on the Google form. So thank you so much.